Hello everyone, Burger Brush here, and today I will be talking about the upcoming Path of Exile expansion called Harvest, the league mechanics, and a little bit my thoughts about it as well. Now, for the people who don't know, we're basically going to be diving into Farmville in the next expansion for Path of Exile, the one called Harvest, and with this we will be getting a lot of different seeds that we will be planting in a garden, and we'll be growing those seeds, and then we will be killing the monsters that grow within the seeds as well, and we will get a bunch of crafts and some items, as well as there are a new bunch of unique items that are being released this league as well alongside this mechanic. So I'm going to talk very quickly today about how the mechanics will work for Harvest as I understand it so far. It's only been a couple of days, but I've been going through all the information so far, and I think I have a pretty clear idea of how the mechanics will work. So I actually, the other day on my stream, I was doing some paint things. As you know, all streamers love to work in paint, as we're all absolutely stupid to the core of our brain, and I am not better than any other streamer, so here we go. I made some paint pictures showing off how I think that the league mechanic will work. So every time you enter a map, you will find these seed caches that will contain seeds, and every time you click on them, you will be granted a couple of seeds that you can pick up. And once you click on a seed cache, a portal to the garden will then open, so you can go inside your garden and you can plant these seeds. Now, the seeds that you get from the caches are tier 1 seeds, so you can plant them and then they will grow. And the thing is that like every seed and every tier has a different form of life cycle, as they're calling it. And they need to go through certain cycles to actually grow enough so where you can kill the seeds and kill the monsters within them, and then gain life force and a higher forms of seeds as well. So every time you click on a seed cache, it will grow one cycle. And we're going to talk about how many cycles and everything you need later on. Now I'm just going to show you the mechanics. So you're going to pick up seeds, go into your garden, plant the seeds, and it's going to be tier 1 seeds to begin with. Now, when you're in your garden later on, you will be able to use a life force collector next to the seeds, which will make the seeds explode and then release different forms of monsters that you then can kill. When you kill these monsters, you're going to have a bunch of life force, as they're calling it, inside the life force collector that you can either then craft with this, which is basically the league mechanic. It's all about crafting. Or you're going to be able to take the life force and you're going to be able to put it in a condenser, which is a building that contains much more life force than life force collectors will be able to collect. Now, it's all about really the colors as well, so I'm portraying here that we have the purple seeds and I kill them with the life force collector. I will then take the life force and I will put it in a condenser. And then my options are either that I can still craft it, but I don't really know if this is possible yet, but I hope that it will be possible. Or I will be able to take the life force and I will be able to grow other forms of seeds, aka tier 2 seeds. Because tier 2 seeds and tier 3 seeds require life force of another color to actually grow. So I'll be able to kill my tier 1 seeds and then craft, or put it in a condenser and still craft, or use the life force to grow tier 2 seeds of another color. Now, you will then use a disperser to take the life force from the condenser over to the disperser that will help cultivate the tier 2 seeds and make them grow, because otherwise you're not going to be able to grow tier 2 seeds or tier 3 seeds at all. And I can show you that by showing you this picture. We have a tier 1 seed that you can just put anywhere and just grow it and kill it after 5 growth cycles, aka clicking 5 seed caches. But then you can also have these tier 2 seeds that are dropped by killing tier 1 seeds. So remember this, when you kill tier 1 seeds, you have a chance of dropping tier 2 seeds. And in order to actually grow tier 2 seeds, you need to consume 10 of whatever color that you may need per growth cycle. So if I want to grow this tier 2 yellow seed, I need 10 purple life force units per growth cycle. And since it says here that this can be harvested after 10 growth cycles, I will then need 100 purple units to grow this, so I can then kill this tier 2 seed. And I will show this later on as well. Now I'm just showing you kind of how the mechanics work step by step. So Seed cache, garden, put down tier 1 seeds, kill tier 1 seeds, craft, life force in the condenser, or disperser for the tier 2 seeds. Now, I can then, after I've cultivated all these tier 2 seeds, I can then also use another life force collector once again to hatch the plants or whatever you want to call it and release the monsters, and then I can kill the monsters, and then it's basically the same principle. I can then either craft once again, or I can take the life force and push it into a condenser, which I can then maybe perhaps craft, or use this life force to then cultivate a tier 3 seed once again with the disperser. So that's basically how it's going to work. You pick up a lot of tier 1 seeds, you kill them, you get the life force, you work into tier 2, and then you work your way up to tier 3. And during all this process, you can then craft a lot as well. Now, for the second part of the mechanic, I will explain to you kind of how the tiers work and the caches and the units required to grow each seed and how much they actually give. You can see the information yourself over at pathofexile.com/harvest. You can see that you need 10 wild and killing a tier 2 yellow seed provides you 20 units and all that stuff. So you can kind of understand how much you need, but I'm going to show you in this picture as well. So every time you drop tier 1 seed, you need to click 5 caches for them to grow, then you can kill them, and every time you kill a tier 1 seed, that seed will give you 10 units. So I have showed here by the purple seeds, I have let's say I have a couple of purple seeds, and I kill them and they give 10 units. I put that in a condenser. If I then want to grow a tier 2 yellow seed, it requires 100 purple units altogether to actually grow. I also need to click 10 caches. And once I kill one tier 2 seed, it will give me 20 units of yellow. And the same principle once again goes into this. You can put it in a condenser if you want to push a tier 3 seed. And the tier 3 seed requires 300 units to fully grow, because it is 15 caches that you need to click. And as you can see here, you need 20 vivid units of condensed life force per growth cycle. So you need 20 yellow, 15 growth cycles. That's 300 units altogether. And once you kill a tier 3 seed, it will also give 30 units each per seed of purple. So that's kind of how it works. So I think that basically what you want to do is that you want to use a lot of tier 1 seeds and just farm up as much life force as you want in these condensers. And then when you have like a good amount of life force, you want to start pushing maybe tier 2 and tier 3 seeds in larger groups. I don't think you just want to push like one tier 2 seed and just get 20 units there. It's better to just like gather a bunch of tier 2 seeds and go hard on that, and then gather tier 3 seeds and go hard on that. Because there's also one last mechanic that needs to be explained as well. Now, it says here that requires 4 adjacent vivid plants of at least tier 1 to grow. So what does this mean? In order to actually grow a tier 2 seed, you need other seeds around it to actually grow this. This does not apply for the tier 1 seed, but it does apply for the tier 2 seed, and it does also apply for the tier 3 seed. Now, so basically what this is that the tier 1s, you can do this what you want. You can have 1 seed and you can go with that, or 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. I don't really know what the maximum possibilities is here. We're going to have to learn that more as we actually delve into the league when it's released on the 19th. But yeah, the tier 1s, just go ham with whatever you want. But when you actually want to grow a tier 2 seed, you need other seeds around it to actually grow it. It can be tier 2s, it can be tier 3, I guess, it can even be tier 1s as it says here. You need at least 4 vivid plants as well. If we want to grow a yellow, we need other yellow of at least tier 1 to grow. So if you want to make 1 medium, you need to have perhaps 4 other small next to it. It could also be 4 big, or large, I don't know. And I'm not really sure if they count this one as one of the 4th, so you need 1 and 3 more, or if you need this one and 4 more. I don't really know those mechanics either. We're gonna have to learn that later on as we get more information or actually play. But I'm just showing this because it's an easy visual representation of how the mechanic is gonna work. So you have 1 medium, you have 4 small, or you can have 2 medium and 3 small, and 3 medium and 2 small, whatever, or just go and get a bunch of medium. And I think that's kind of what you want to do. I don't think you want to like go for one medium and just put a bunch of small. I think you could just go hard on like getting a bunch of small and just gathering multiple mediums instead of just using one medium at a time. You could wait until you have like 5 mediums and then just place all 5 mediums, because those are going to count. They're at least tier 1 next to each other, so they're going to count to have like 5 mediums next to each other, and that's going to work out. And then the same principle once again goes in when you want to make the tier 3 seed. Now the tier 3 seed, to actually grow it, you need at least tier 2 around it to grow. So you need multiple tier 3s next to each other, or a tier 3 and a couple of tier 2s around it, or however you want to do. That's all up to you. I'm just kind of explaining how this is going to work. When it comes to the tier 3 seeds, I guess like 1 or 2 is enough, and just putting a bunch of mediums around it is going to be enough, because the tier 3 seeds are apparently going to be a little bit harder and are going to yield better crafts and better items and all these things. And there's also hinting of that the tier 3 seed can actually drop a tier 4 seed, which we don't really have too much information about right now, but apparently there are 3 different endgame bosses come along with Harvest as well, and I'm guessing that the tier 4 seeds are going to be just that. So you're going to kill a bunch of tier 3 seeds, maybe you're lucky, you drop a tier 4, you need to have a bunch of tier 3s around that one to cultivate that one, and then you're going to have a endgame boss on your hands in your garden. Now, when you really think about it, it doesn't really all sound that complex. I'm guessing that the only complex system that is going to actually be in Path of Exile is the system that you want to set up, like maybe different areas where you cultivate different forms of tiers, and you have 3 different colors and all that stuff, and how you really want to place your relays all around the area to push your life force from the life force collector over to the condense and all that stuff. As you can see in the video that they released, you can see that some of these setups look really good, where they have blue going over here and yellow going over here and purple going over here, and then having a disperser here and kind of pushing more life force into this area. I'm guessing that's going to be a little bit more of the complex system eventually, but who knows, maybe someone will make a template of like a really easy way to set it all up, so you can just follow that template and just push your tiers as hard as you can in any way that you can, but at least you don't really have to care about how you're going to set up, oh, I want this over here and I want this over here. Maybe someone will do that for us eventually, or even I will figure out a good system for that. That's something we're going to have to figure out later on. But yeah, this is all the information I just wanted to give today. Now, I think this league looks a little bit tedious, and it might be a little bit boring, but it does look interesting a little bit, at least with all the forms of crafting that we're getting. And I'm just gonna play. I'm gonna keep on working on different videos and making guides and have fun, at least this league, and try it out. Maybe it's a great league. Maybe all these crafting systems and the garden will actually be a lot of fun, and maybe these endgame bosses will be somewhat challenging. So yeah, right now I would say it doesn't really look too good, but I'm not one to judge until I try it out, Thank you very much for watching the video, and feel free to subscribe here at my YouTube, and also feel free to go over to twitch.tv/burgerbrush and drop me a follow over at my Twitch as well, where I stream almost daily. So thank you very much, and I'll see you around.